What's up, Ocean? You got Matt here, coach of your Montreal Milotic, bringing you our Week 3 battle for the APA Academy. Today, we are facing off against the LA Valienteis, coached by Jack. We played once before in the APA. It was in the APA Little Cup Wi-Fi League, where we actually ended up taking a pretty big loss. It was our biggest loss of that season, I believe, and that was to a Pancham, a Scarf Pancham just kicking our butts. So, luckily, there's no Pancham, there's no Pangoro here either, but it is still going to be a very interesting game. I pretty much believe that this is one of not my easier matchups, but it's a matchup that I feel like I can do really, really well in, just based on the fact that his Ubers aren't as scary. Like, his Ubers are Mega Metagross and Protean Greninja, which, compared to Ho-Oh and Aegislash, I'll take my two Ubers over his any day of the week, even though both of his get rock coverage from my Ho-Oh. Anyways, his team is also pretty scary though, but again, it just seems a little bit underwhelming compared to what was allowed. So I'll go over his team in a second, and you're going to see there's a little bit of a mistake here, but I'll just continue on and I'll explain the mistake as it comes. So he has a team of Mega Metagross, Protean Greninja, Tornadus T with Z-moves, Garchomp, Tangrowth, MIMIKYU with Z-moves, Incineroar with Z-moves, Gastrodon, Blissey, Hitmonchan, Dragalge, and Rotom Fan. I thought it was Rotom Fan. It's actually not. It's Rotom Frost. The doc said Rotom Fan, and I prepped as if it was Rotom Fan. It ends up being Rotom Frost, so when he doesn't end up bringing it, I'm kind of shocked because Rotom Fan is an amazing wall to Hawlucha. So I ended up kind of prepping for it a little bit, not too much, but it actually would have helped that he would have been Frost. Didn't end up mattering too much, but yeah. Our team is Ho, Tapu Koko with Z-moves, Aegislash, Mega Latios, Dugtrio with Z-moves, Amoonguss, Miltank, Sizento with Z-moves, Hawlucha, Bisharp, and Illumise. Now, I did have a pretty easy time coming up with a couple mons that I want to bring for this matchup, but the rest of them were kind of tough. So, first off, we have our Ho, which is the same set we brought last week. We're running Skyplate again with Flame Charge, Sacred Fire, Brave Bird, and Roost. It's a very strong set this week. We have speed for Greninja at +1. We also have speed for Adam Hitmonchan at neutral. We also always 2 KO a max HP, max defense Gastrodon with Brave Bird after it recovers back HP from leftovers. We always KO a max HP Tangrowth, so if he's like an Assault Vest Tangrowth, then we always make sure we can beat that down. We can always OHKO at least. We also always 2 KO a max defense Blissey, very important, and we always OHKO a no bulk Tornadus T, and we are never OHKO'd by a no attack Hasty Greninja's Rock Slide. Very important there because I assume he's going to be a special Greninja, maybe like have 4 EVs in attack, but not much else. Moving on though is our Koko here, which has coverage for everything on his team. We have Roost, Thunderbolt, Hidden Power Ice, and U-Turn. I did have Grass Knot originally, but I decided to change it to Roost because I just didn't see the Gastrodon coming, and if it did come, then I'd have Toxic on my Dugtrio, and I'd have my Brave Bird on my Ho to beat that down. So that was why I took off Grass Knot, and it ends up being the right move because he didn't bring the Gastrodon. So we have Life Orb here for damage because, I'm Life Orb. I was debating being Shucka Berry, but I felt like the damage output that Life Orb gave me was just way too important. Also, it's basically its main goal this week isn't maybe to sweep, or to like win the game for us. It's mostly going to be to break everything so that our other mons can sweep for us. So that's kind of my thought process there. It's not my end game, like I said, but it's possible if everything is chipped, and we also have speed for Greninja on this set. Our next set is our Dugtrio. We have speed for the Mega Metagross. We always OHKO with our Z move unless he has more than 212 HP EVs. Just want to point that out there. He needs to be very, very, very bulky to live the hit. And with our Z, I'm going to use our Z move for that. I'm Z Earthquake, by the way. We have Rock Slide to do damage to the Tornadus if needed. We have Toxic for the walls, and Rocks because they're very important to chip things down to the range that I need them at. Our next mon here is very interesting. We have a Mega Latios. Now I want to bring a very special, different Mega Latios with Roost, Toxic, Substitute, and Shadow Ball. That didn't happen. It did not do really well in mocks at all, and probably for that is because a lot of the walls that I expected to come didn't end up coming, and it just could not take advantage of that. So I decided to change it with the help of my front office. We now have a set that speed ties Mega Metagross. Our HP and defense are so we're never 2 KO'd by an Adamant, Life Orb, Shadow Sneak from MIMIKYU, so very clutch there. We can live 2 of those. We also are never OHKO'd by Timid, Life Orb, Ice Beam from Greninja, or OHKO'd by Dark Pulse after Rocks. Dark Pulse is 80 base power, Greninja's Ice Beam is 90 base power, and they're both boosted by Stab because of Protean, of course. Basically the plan was to Toxic Stall everything, but yeah, I decided to go against it, so now my new set actually has it's Recover, Dragon Pulse, Defog, and Shadow Ball. I have Defog on this set just to get rid of Rocks because they can be very annoying for my team to deal with. Our next mod is going to be our Hawlucha here. We have speed for an Adamant Mimikyu at neutral. We also outspeed Scarfed everything at +2. Our HP and defense is that Jolly Mega Metagross's T-Punch in terrain never OHKOs us if we have our +1 defense from the Electric Seed. I was debating going Bulk Up over Swords Dance, but I ended up going Swords Dance there because I wanted the immediate damage. But in a perfect world, if he only had his physical attackers left, I would just go with the Bulk Up. I think that would be my best bet. But Alas, I do not have that, and I don't know why I turned into the guy from Harry Potter. Yeah. Anyways, next up we have our Aegislash here. I was really debating these last two spots, the Hawlucha and the Aegislash. I didn't know what exactly I wanted to bring. Aegislash was really kind of up in the air. It's a bit of a pain to deal with because he has a lot of moves that can just hit me super effectively, and I want to run a super effective Reduction Berry, but I couldn't. Well, I could, but I couldn't run one to cover all of them. So instead I ended up going with the Colbur Berry. On this set I have King's Shield, Shadow Sneak, Sacred Sword, and Shadow Claw, and basically it's just meant, the EVs are like very specific. They're meant to take hits from pretty much a mishmash of everything. The Tornadus, the Greninja, like we take a hit from Mega Metagross and Garchomp, and with our Colbur Berry we can just, he can go for a Dark Pulse with his Greninja, I can go for Sacred Sword, and we can Oko that thing back. So that's kind of my play there. And yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the match. But before we do, guys, make sure to answer the comment question of the day, which should be on your screen, even though I do not know what it is right now. And make sure to like the video if you guys are enjoying. Subscribe to the channel, of course, if you have not already. And go in the description and check out Jack's channel as well. It is linked down there, just like all the coaches in the APA Academy. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. As looking at what he brought, I'm thinking my best lead is going to be with my Mega Latios here. It hits things pretty hard. It can stop the annoying things that might want to happen, and I'm leading off with Miskigan the Mega Latios here after its amazing showing it had last week with the Calm Mindset, but he ends up leading with Spagotum being the Tangrowth, and this thing is super annoying because I wish I had Toxic. I did not expect him to run bring the Tangrowth anymore because of my Ho, but he ends up bringing it, and instead I kind of suffer a bit because I didn't have Toxic on it. But he goes into his what is this thing called? Incineroar, there we go, and I can just go Mega Evolve and go for the Dragon Pulse here, and we can try to figure out what kind of spread he is, what his EVs are. He does get the Intimidate on us. We are not a physical Mega Latios, of course, and we can go for Dragon Pulse, which, depending on his spread, we could do a decent chunk of damage to him. I'm assuming he's going to be a very bulky Incineroar, and we do just under half, and because of that, I'm going to say, you know what, I'll live a Darkest Lariat, I'll live a U-Turn, I'll live whatever. I'm going to go for another Dark Pulse here as he ends up switching back into Spagotum, the Tangrowth, and I can then fire off yet another Dragon Pulse after that. My play is I want to chip this thing down enough, and I kind of find out at this point he is Assault Vest. Wow, so I left for like 20 minutes just now, but like I was saying, Dragon Pulse is coming out. We're going to attack the Tangrowth, and the plan is just to wear it down to the point where I can get the KO on it with my Ho just right away. I do realize it is Assault Vest as he goes for a knockoff here, and now I'm pretty sure he's definitely going to switch out. I'm going to go for a Shadow Ball here, predicting the Mimikyu to come in because I've only used Dragon Pulse. It's the only thing I've done, and wouldn't you know it, in comes the Mimikyu, and I just played that perfectly. I was so happy with my play there. I was like, wow, I can kind of just 1v1 his entire team with this thing, which is amazing. Obviously can't completely 1v1 it, but I can really do tons of damage, really break his team. We do get the Disguise drop, and I believe we also get the Special Defense drop, if I'm not mistaken. So because of that, I'm going to go for another Shadow Ball here. And he's going to switch out into the Tangrowth here, which is going to take a decent chunk of damage. He is going to get himself back from the Regenerator. Regenerator does make it kind of tough to break this thing, especially because I don't have Toxic on this set, but I'm now going to go for the Recover, I believe, as he pulls a double and goes back into the Mimikyu, so good play here. Yeah, if I got off the Shadow Ball there, it would have been fantastic. We want to 2KO this thing, get rid of it. It is a pretty big threat to my team, and right here I'm like, you know what do I do here? I don't really know what to do. He could go for a Play Rough, he could go for the Z move, he could go for a Shadow Claw. I'm just going to stay in an attack, and we do a decent chunk of damage to him. As he is now, we're going to get Special Defense drop now for sure, we get it. But he's going to go for the Z move here, and I do have to cut it out, so I did cut it out in pre-editing, so you guys aren't going to see it. I don't even see it, I think it's like right here-ish. It's going to stop like right there. So yeah, so we end up dying. It obliterates us. Goodbye. And if you guys don't know, I have to cut that out because of copyright. I don't want that happening. But in comes my Ho, and this was a very tough decision for me. Do I go Ho? Do I go into my Hawlucha? Not Hawlucha. My... trying to think of the name, what is it called? My Coco. I felt like taking the 30% that Coco would be taking from the Shadow Sneak rather, on the Mimikyu was not worth it. So I said, go into Ho, I'm just going to click Flame Charge here. He's going to go for a Shadow Claw, I'll be fine. Flame Charge, I've Roost, I'm good to go. I can just sweep right here, I'll be happy. So I'm going to do that. I go for the Flame Charge here. He whips out Destiny Bond. And I'm so upset. He said that, he used that move, and my entire demeanor just changed. I was like, I played this game so well to start, and now we are down 5-4, and I've lost my Ho, and I've lost my Mega Latios. I don't have the offense to win anymore. Like, I lost a full HP Ho. Yeah, disappointed. Really disappointed about that. In comes this thing, and right now it's going to be really hard for me to take this thing down. I don't have Braver on the set. Empire Ice is going to do nothing because he is he's an Assault Vest Tangrowth. So I'm just going to go for the U-turn here, just switch right out and go into something else. So I U-turn, and he's probably going to go for a Giga Drain or a knockoff or a Poison Jab. one of those moves, and maybe an Earthquake. So I'm going to go out, I'm going to go hard into my Hawlucha here, expecting probably the Earthquake to come out. It does hit my Coco for super effective damage in case he did want to go for that. It pops a Shock Berry potentially, so I think that would be the play he would go for to start. So I'm going to go into my Hawlucha here. I do want to break this Tangrowth. It's going to be a pain in the ass for the rest of my team to deal with, so I got to get rid of it quickly. So I'm just going to go for the Swords Dance here. Also kind of expecting to switch out. I could just go for an attack, but Swords Dance is my play here. Get the +1, or +2 rather, and just go in. Now we do go down to +1 because of the Incineroar's Intimidate, and we are going to be able to ult with this thing though with the Drain Punch no matter what. We'll get back to pretty much full HP, but the unfortunate thing about all this is that because we're not +2, because we don't have a jump kick, because we haven't worn down the Metagross, it can just come in and just live any hit, and yeah, I don't, yeah, we're not a great spot because of that. So I go for the Drain Punch here. It would have done like 120 something % to him, even with the Intimidate at +1. So we're back to full, and he can just go into his Metagross now and take whatever hits. I would have liked to have maybe Throat Chop on the set. It would have been nice to have, but I felt like I needed the coverage moves, or not the coverage, but I needed my Dual Stab, I needed Roost, and I needed Swords Dance. So I'm going to go for the Drain Punch here, as he's going to be able to live this hit no matter what. There's really nothing I can do unless I get like a super crit, and even then, I think a +2 crit wouldn't even KO if he's got a decent amount of bulk on him. I think he probably would have some bulk, so I'm going to go for the Drain Punch here, as he's going to just take this hit, and he's going to fire back either a T-Punch or a Zen Headbutt. My preference is if he goes for T-Punch because I'll live the hit, but no, he goes for Zen Headbutt, which I don't think is even a roll to KO us. It just always is KO. So, yeah, down goes Hawlucha. Very unfortunate. I would have loved to get off a second hit, but fantastic. But he ends up going in. He ends up having the Metagross here. I'm going to go for the Earthquake here. It's still a guaranteed KO unless he's got like max defense, max HP, which I doubt he is going to be. So I go for the regular Earthquake, which still disguises the fact that it could be potentially a Focus Sash Dugtrio. So I'm going to just do that. Down goes the Metagross. At this point, I believe it's 3-3, and we're doing not awful for ourselves. We still have a good shot to win this game, mostly because of the fact that we can get a Toxic on the Tangrowth here. So I'm going to go for the Toxic here as the Tangrowth does come in, and he's not going to go, if he goes for Gauge Ring, we die, but I don't think he would do that because he probably thinks I'm Sash, so let's go for a knockoff first, and he does go for the knockoff here, and this, now it's going to be the point where he reveals, or I reveal that I'm not a Sashed Dugtrio. And at this point, I'm going to go for a Stealth Rock here, so I didn't want to get up damage on this thing. I felt like getting rocks that were more important to chip down the Garchomp to make sure it was in range of the Coco's Hidden Power Ice. If he's not Yachi Berry or Scarf, then we have a really clear path to winning this game. So I'm expecting to be able to have a good shot at winning this game because of our Coco being Life Orb, of course, and being able to make sure we can guarantee get the KO on the Garchomp once we get some, maybe 1 or 2 rounds of rocks on it because of the Life Orb. Anyways, at this point here, I'm going to go into my Aegislash. It's a pretty solid check to his team here. I can just go for the King's Shield as I expect him to go for an Earthquake or a knockoff. And if he does go for the knockoff, then he's going to get rid of my Colbur Berry, which will suck to deal with the Greninja, of course. But I feel like it's not going to be the end of the world unless he's, of course, a Life Orb. So I'm now going to go for the Shadow Claw here, trying to get some more chip on this thing. If he stays and goes for a knockoff, that's great for me. I go for the Shadow Claw here, but he switches out. And this is very unfortunate because he goes into his Greninja here. I did not feel in the need to click Sacred Sword there. I didn't think he was going to go into Greninja at all. So I just was thinking like, click Shadow Claw, we're good. But no, if I clicked at the, what is it called? I'm trying to think of the name. My God. The Sacred Sword there, I would have been in a great spot. But unfortunately, I don't. We do get a crit there, which is nice. But at this point, I'm just going to go for my King's Shield, get my my shield form back, and just let him go for a Dark Pulse or a Hidden Power Fire or whatever, and try and hit me. So he ends up going for, I believe, the Hidden Power Fire over here, which does throw a bit of a wrench in my plans, but in hindsight, it probably is the best situation because now the knockoff from the Tangrowth will be doing less damage, so it's going to take more time for him to get the KO on me, which means Toxic damage will rack up. So I'm going to go for the Sacred Sword here as he ends up going for the Hidden Power Fire. It's going to do about half to us, depending on what his spread is, and we take that pretty well. I can't remember what his set is. Maybe the calc is like for like Expert Belt, I think, or maybe it's for like Fire Plate, something like that, Flame Plate, whatever it is. But anyways, we do get the KO here. It is a guaranteed KO with the Sacred Sword there, which is fantastic. But then comes Bonnie, which is his Garchomp here. This thing is a huge threat to me. If he is Scarfed, then we'll lose this game. If he is Yachi Berry, we'll lose this game. If he is not either of those things, we'll win this game. So I'm going to go King's Shield here, as he's going to go for an Earthquake. We will drop to the Earthquake no matter what, but I want to see, is he Scarfed? Is he Leftovers? What could he be? So he has the Earthquake there, and he doesn't reveal his Leftovers at the end of this turn. So I'm going to go for a Shadow Sneak here, sacking off my Aegislash, but guaranteeing that he is in range of the Hidden Power Ice if he is not Yachi Berry, or if he's not like Assault Vest or something. So I go with the Shadow Sneak here. Now the only way we lose this game is if he is Scarfed, or if he is, trying to think about it. What is it? Yachi Berry or Salt Vest? I don't think he's going to be Yachi or Salt Vest. I think he's going to have rocks on the set. I don't expect him to be Scarfed. Scarf Garchomp came, I believe, in one of my mocks, but I didn't feel like it was a good bring. So I'm going to go for the Hidden Power Ice here. I'm thinking I got a really good shot because I have Roost. Had I not had Roost, I would have lost this game for sure. But I think I got a good shot because of the Hidden Power Ice and the Roost. So I go for Hidden Power Ice. He outspeeds, goes for Earthquake, and that shows he is Scarfed. We will not take this hit at all. We are just going to drop, and we end up losing this game 2-0 to Jack and the LA Valienteis. Very unfortunate. I definitely thought we had a really solid shot to win this game, but honestly, the MIMIKYU with Destiny Bond was the saving grace. The Scarf Garchomp was a great bring, even though I thought it wasn't going to be a good bring at all. And you look at it, his Ubers, his Greninja, and his Metagross didn't really do all that much. The most valuable mods for him were his MIMIKYU, his Garchomp, and his Tangrowth. It pays to have a well-balanced team sometimes. Other times, you just want to have a team that's really front-loaded, really top-heavy, but other times like this, it pays to have a solid, balanced team like this. Anyways, that's in this video. GG to Jack. Really disappointed we ended up losing this game to move on to 3-0, but instead we were going to drop to 2-1 with a +3 differential, I believe it is, or maybe even +4, +2. I don't remember. I think it's +3. Anyways, so we do lose this game. Let me know what you guys thought about the matchup. Let me know if you guys would have done something different. Obviously, the Ho play, I would have definitely gone into Coco in hindsight, but mistakes were made. It happens. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like on the video. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Make sure to answer the comment question of the day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.